Hello and welcome to this webinar where we're going to present upKeeper Manager 5.0. My name is Peter and I'm going to be the host for this session. And we're going to talk about the new version and the benefits and how you can benefit from it, the features we have implemented in it, and so on. So a little bit of the background. We sat down in like December 2021. We looked at the product as we normally do, but we realized we had to do something big with it, and we realized that we hadn't got the time to do it in the spring of 2020. So we built the 4.11, which is a great version as well. But we planned already then to make the new version. And this because we couldn't use really the components that we wanted. We saw that our integrations starting to lack functionality because of the framework we was using and the components we were using. So we really wanted to up our game when it came to security. We wanted to look at the flexibility for the product to be more agile and so on. And we wanted to make it more of future-proof, so to say. So what we realized with the focus of being more secure, being more flexible, and more future-proof, we looked at the entire product. We saw which parts we had to move up and rework and so on. And we realized that we had to upper the framework. That was the main thing. So we have moved from the framework 4.8, which is default in every Windows operating system as today, but we moved it to 6.0. With this is a really great thing for us because we could use all the new features and all the functions that are included, but also the security which comes with 6.0. So what we saw when we started to move to 6.0, we have to change a lot of things as well. So we changed the structure for the authentication. We changed the structure for logging as well. As many of you know, we have used Log4Net for a long time, but we have actually moved to nlog for this version, which gives us more flexibility, and I will come back to that a little bit later. We also saw that we had the chance to move to a new configuration profile, so to say, and use new configuration settings in this new version, and we changed that as well, and I will come back to that. It's been a really great journey to do. We have, as I said, we have upgraded all the components behind. We have this latest versions. So it's a really secure version we are releasing in 5.0. And as a bonus, I would say, we have seen that it's faster. Actually, when you add more memory and then you add more CPU to the system, the faster it will get. So it's not that limit that we saw in 4.8 at the end. So one of the features we wanted to extend and make better in 5.0, we wanted to be able to customize the installations in the same way wherever the computers are. If you try to do a custom installation on premise and the same installation out on the internet, you have seen there are some difficulties. You have to do some scripting and you have to add stuff into the image to make it work. Now in 5.0, we have added a new entity which we call packages. Packages will replace the commands, if you know that, kind of where the commands is a map structure on the SMB shares, where we can put the scripts and we can put the client and so on, which will be picked up during the installation of the platform, the operating system. But now we have moved this to the package feature instead. So instead of having scripts lying around, you make them into packages, and they are distributed exactly the same way as applications. You can make these packages on a global scale, so to say, on the installation area, or you can make it separate for the organizations. So you can have both global packages, and you can have them for organization and distribute them. So this means it will be much simpler to deploy the same platform wherever the customers are. And it's exactly the same. You can use it exactly how you have used the commands earlier on. Just the difference that we can handle this wherever the computer is. So this is a really good feature, and we have seen a few customers using it actually, because we have upgraded our cloud environment. So they have tried it and they like what they see. So now if you have moved your platform, your installations, so that you have your Vim files for the operating systems, you're working with images, you have moved drivers to be as well images, and now you can move to packages as well, and everything can be cached on the local computer as well, so reinstallations will go really fast wherever the clients are. So this feature we see forward to more of our new customers using, of course, and to see those happy users out there with their computers. Furthermore, we have improved the offsite installation support to be even better than today. As you many know today cabling networks aren't that easy to get. Often you work through Wi-Fi, and even in the installation situation, you would like to use Wi-Fi. So what we have done in 5.0, we have added the feature to the Service OS so that you can use Wi-Fi as well. Furthermore, we have added more of a USB support. So if you have built these images, which I talked about, you have the image for the platform, you have the image for the driver, and you have image for applications and packages. Then you can put it on a USB stick, and the service operating system, the SOS, will detect these and use them from the local source. So you don't have to take them off the Wi-Fi. Because we have to remember, Wi-Fi is a great thing. It's everywhere, but it's kind of slow comparing to a cabled installation. So here we can see in the future that the customers will use this in the installation. So if you put up a number of computers, instead of cabling each and every one of the computers, you can use Wi-Fi instead. To boot them up you boot from a USB stick, you boot and you connect to the upKeeper system through Wi-Fi. You can still use the USB to download stuff, so you don't have to take every file and media over the Wi-Fi. And as always, if the files on the USB is too old or in some way tampered with, they will not be used. They will download fresh data and use that instead. So let's have a look why this girl is so glad. Smiling. She has seen this because she booted her computer, and she got this Wi-Fi configuration where she can select the Wi-Fi she is sitting on and give us the password, and then she can actually go further in the reinstallation. Because if she's sitting outside like she did, she's sitting waiting somewhere in the school, she can actually reinstall her computer herself without any physical connection. When you enter the password, we have also given you the possibility of the customer to select which language they will use on the keyboard as well. So furthermore, Windows updates. Everyone knows today that it's really important to update their systems when it comes to platform, operating system, and applications and so on. We have always recommended the standard approach from Microsoft, which means that you will deploy their updates through some of the products they have, like Visos, Windows Update for Business, or Auto Update, and you can have the third party as well if you want that. But when you set this in configuration, that you have these rings, which Microsoft always talks about. So you start with a small group in your organization and you escalate to another group and so on, as we can see in this picture as well, where we start with the insider, we go to the pilot group, and we go to the target and so on. And we think this is great. Every organization should have this, but everyone has a little bit of fear as well when it comes to this, because what happens if an update is corrupting something? Maybe it can't work well with an application, or it has some problem with the hardware and so on. So let's take a scenario where we have distributed a new update. We have passed the insider group. It goes to the pilot group, and during the pilot group deployment, we can see that this hardware doesn't function very well with the update. Then we need to have some feature to stop it, to escalate to the next level and so on. So what we have implemented in upKeeper 5 is actually a pause function. We can pause this, and what we see here is if you have upKeeper and using it in the service desk people get the tickets and the cases where people having problems, and they can probably make a summary of that and see that this is a hardware, for example, that has a problem with update. They select the hardware in the upKeeper interface, and they pause those computers with that hardware. Or they can post all computers in the organization if they want to. Then you get time as a technician to check it out. Is this the hardware problem, or is it a Microsoft problem, or is it just a random case? So you get the time to troubleshoot and find what's the problem. When you know the problem is fixed, either by Microsoft, they have updated and sent you a new update, or you have fixed it in some way, you can press play, so to say, and those computers will start to take updates, and we are back to the normal use, so to say. Another another request we have had from customers using upKeeper is that we have seen it's more and more important to get these updates really fast. We can't wait like a half year or a year like we did before. We have to deploy them as soon as possible. And sometimes you have customers or clients that has been away, or they have been shut down, or of some reason they haven't got these updates. And then you would like to force them to get them. And in 5.0, we can actually trigger a fast forward. So we can tell a number of computers, we can select as we used to in the device view. We can select those devices, and we can push the update. On the clients, we will use the automatic update function on the Windows system, and we will force it to update. If the updates require a reboot, the reboot will be initiated. Is there a user logged in? The user will be dialogued, so to say, and they can accept the shutdown. So they have the possibility to postpone the shutdown. They have also the possibility to save any work before they shut down. So this is really great. And when the computer comes back up, it will check another time, is there any more updates I should deploy, and is there? They will be added, and if they need more reboots, it will do so as well. So this is a really good process to use, we think. And if we look at the implementation, Here we have selected a group of computers, the virtual computers, and here we can see from the drop down we have this task to postpone, to pause updates, and we post them for 5 weeks, which is the longest time you can pause updates actually. So we post them for that time, and then if you look further down, you can resume the Windows updates, and we have also the force Windows updates a little bit higher up in this drop down. And you can do it, as we see here, like an instant task, or you can do it like a scheduled task as well. If we go into a device, we can see that we have 2 new fields. We can see if a computer is paused. It doesn't have to be paused through upKeeper. We collected from the client, so we can see if if a user has paused the update as well. So we get this information, and we can see which date they will be available again for new updates. And we can see when this information was sent to upKeeper. This is a new communication channel, so to say, from clients to the upKeeper system. As you may know, we use this 15 seconds interval to get information from the client, and the client requests if there is something to do and so on. But we have added another channel where we look at the changes on the client, and in this version 5.0, we check for the update change, status change. And if there are a change in status, we will send it to the system. This is checked every hour and sent in to the central system. And every startup, it will check it as well. So we get quite good information from the clients. And if we look at the client side, you might have seen this. If you go into Windows updates, you have the possibility, normally if the administrators let you, you can pause the updates, and this is the client we paused earlier, and we can see that it's paused. So we can see it both from the administration part through upKeeper, and we can see on the client very, very obvious. And if we have allowed our customers, clients, to enable post updates or resume post updates, they can do that, as we can see here with the blue button. So this is a really nice feature which adds on upon Microsoft standard, I would say. And as I said, I think that this will be a really good feature for the service desk. They can collect and see if there are trouble out there, and they can pause all the clients, and they can resume that when everything is okay. Audit and logging and audit. As we all know, security is everything today, and audit and logging have been with us for a long time in upKeeper, all the way, I would say, and we have added along the way as well. Audit is a thing that not everyone has seen, because it's a hidden part in the administration part, actually. But we can follow a customer, we can follow an administrator, what they are doing, and we really would push for this, so everyone enable it, because it isn't enabled by default. You have to configure it. In this new version, you can configure it as we always have done, but you can always also configure it to write to other sources. So this is something you should look into with the new version. And for all our new components, when it comes to the APIs, the client API, the admin API, the client, upKeeper client, the upKeeper server, all these features have the new log component, the nlog, and by default they are logging to 2 files. This you can change, of course, and I will show that as well. But we can see here we have 2 files. We have logging to both them. We have one that actually just taking the simple the happenings and the log that is quite big, log file quite big, actually has a debug log, so we get all the information in that. And if we look at the configuration, as I said in the beginning, we have moved from the XML configuration to JSON configuration, and shouldn't be all too technical, but just to point out the possibilities with the logging and so on. We can point out the file name where we want to save the file for the logging. We can actually also tell the system how to log this, which information we want. So we can have it in the same format as other systems if we have a logging enabled there as well. And we can create rules which implies what to log and how much, which level, and so on. This is really flexible logging, so you can add as many rules as you want, you can add as many sources you want, and you can add as many files or distribution points as you wish. New report handling. As you might know, we use reporting services in the backend of upKeeper, and we still use reporting services. But what we have seen with the earlier implementation in the implementation until 4.11 is that it's quite old, and we had to do something. In a security standpoint, it's actually a proxy. So the administrator sitting on his laptop doing a request, which is actually a proxied back to the SQL server or the reporting server, and then it comes back. And we have changed that in the new version. So in the new version, it's actually the web server that makes the request and send the information back. So it's more secure. The 4.11 is secure as well, but this is even more secure. It's impossible to get to the reporting service through upKeeper, so to say. And in the more modern, we have kept all the reports. We have rebuilt some of them. We have added some reports as well, because we have rebuilt how we do it. But it looks the same. So we list up the reports as we have always done for the 4 series. And when we click on it, we get a new dialog. Where we can see this is upKeeper, an upKeeper dialog. If we have some kind of parameters sent to the report, they will be presented in this dialog, and we can choose from here which type of media we want it in. If we want it like a PDF or a CSV and so on. For now, we don't support HTML because it's actually a bug in the API on the SQL servers, the newer ones. So we have turned that off. So in this 5.0, we released with PDF and CSV files as standard. When you have selected this, and worth mentioning, it's much faster because the first part of where we're listing all the applications, it's instant because we are actually not using the report servicing function. We are using the SQL database in the background. So you get all the listing very rapid, and then you can do the selection from here. And the report are presented precisely the same way as they were done before, which is really nice, I think. Let's talk about the API. We have seen many of our customers, many of you guys using the API, which was the intention when we built it. We built it for you. We added the interface up on top just to make everyone get going. But the API is really the strong point, I would say, for us. You can integrate with the system you want. You can get the information you want from the API. And we have tried in 5.0 to make it even more available to more people. So if we look at this is the help page. And you can actually use this help page to make questions to the API. You see the authorization button. If you click on that, you have to log in. and then you can run your questions directly in this interface. And the help part has been better as well. If we go into the AD group to select, you can see that it's much more clean than before. It's easier to read, I think. So you get all the information you need, and hopefully more of you guys will use it along the road. I talked about what we changed. We have changed a lot of things behind the scenes. We have a faster product today than we ever have had. We took the opportunity as well to move to another configuration. We left the XML configuration and moved all components on now talking JSON. It can be if you're not used to the JSON configuration, it could seem a little bit scary, but when you start working with it, it's really easy to use. We recommend that you use some kind of editor that can read JSON and make some graphic on it. As you can see in this screen, we have used Notepad++, which give us this colored colors, and we can see exactly the configuration in a good way compared to if we open it in a normal Notepad. So, is there any questions? We had some questions yesterday about, we had this webinar in Swedish then, and there was some questions about, is it difficult to upgrade? I would say it's more preparation. The upgrade itself is quite easy, but you should prepare before you do it. So that's a recommendation. If you have any questions, please type them. A little bit of a summary then. upKeeper 5 is a more secure, flexible, and future-proof product. Future-proof, if you look at the graph API from Microsoft, they are turning to require a newer .NET versions if you're gonna integrate with that. So there we are in the right spot right now. Customized installations, new structure for the custom scripts. We are keeping all the old stuff as well. So you can use all the clients, of course, with 5. But I should recommend you to upgrade for security reasons, for performance reasons, and so on and so on. I will take a question. Radio support. For this version, it's only private key that is supported through Wi-Fi. We are looking at the other stuff, but we wanted to try to do the private key stuff first, so to say. We are gonna modify it along the way, but for now it's private key. So I talked about the Windows Update stuff, where we can pause, we can resume, and we can force updates. I think it's a great feature for you guys when you want to deploy and use the deployment rings and feel that you can decrease the time from the first deployment to the last deployment. When it comes to the configuration part for logging and audit, it's really great to be able to have one standard log for your clients. If you want to do some troubleshooting, you can just add another log file. You don't have to tamper with the original file, which you might have for audit and so on. So you can add as many as you wish. The API documentation, I really hope you guys dig into it and look through it and find a way forward there as well, because it's a really powerful feature in upKeeper. And of course, we have in this version made a few bug fixes as well, as we always do. So before you upgrade, this is a major release from upKeeper. So remember to contact your support before you do the upgrade. so they can be standby. They can hopefully also inform you and help you with the preparation of the configuration files. I recommend to do this before the day of the upgrade as well. So you can actually take out the configuration files, you can look at them, learn them, edit them, and prepare them so you have them ready when it's time to change the files, so to say. And also the logging. Go through it, customize it to your needs and your organization, and that you can do as well a long time before the actual update. So do we have any more questions? Seem to be. I can take the opportunity to make an announcement for our upcoming event. We will have upKeeper Open. It will be in the 2nd of May in Stockholm, and you guys will receive an email soon about it. So hopefully we see you there as well. If you want more information about upKeeper 5, go to the support site, search for the word 5, the number 5, and you will get all the information. So thank you so much for participating, listening to me. Hope to see you soon on upKeeper Manager 5.